nothing but that king. Sitting here listening to Pastor Tebow. Really, but now is real. Fair use copyright, fair use copyright. I'm going to be using this video for educational purposes to get this information that to share with everybody. No one particular group, but I would like for my people to particularly pay notice to it and do your due diligence yourself. Don't just go by what somebody tell you. Always go do the due diligence. Do your research. Get get sources so you can trace those sources and see where they're getting that information from, where it's rooted in, so we can check it, we can proofread it, and we can get it out there and share it with those who need to know. It's something about this word where it seems like you share it, but they just don't want to get it. It ain't that they don't get it, they got it, but they don't want to come across that road for some reason. Peace and blessings, whoever you are. Thanks for stopping by. Like and share the video if you'd like to. I just want to share this information with y'all about the so-called who we are and the direction. Once you learn the direction, we will be going in. I can speak with it in the affirmative because it's not like anything we've ever encountered before. When you personally start to read and embrace what's unfolding, it's gonna take you somewhere different. Why? That's why we hear a lot of people talking about, but everybody's not gonna be able to go where you're going. No, there's a spiritual journey. It has a path that's already set. It won't change for you, but you have to change. That's what it means to come into its rest, and that's where we're headed, family. I'm gonna get this thing so I can share this video. I want to share this. In fact, fair use copyright, fair use copyright. I'm gonna start it and just come right back with my contraption so I can stand this up so you can see it. Check it out. This is Pastor Omar Tebow and the Obadiah Alliance. These Obadiah Alliance are Hebrew Israelites. It's from the African root, baby. You heard me? From the African root. You dig? It's something you need to know because it affects you. It affects you greatly, especially to know, family. Knowing is half the battle. Now let's get it. Check it out. I'm gonna remote it. Let's go. While I was at the museum, I ran into a guy. Hold on. It was just... If y'all want to check these brothers out he's talking about from the Obadiah Alliance, check out Zion Lex. They've been over there, Kings. They've been over there, and they have been sharing this information from the rabbis, chief rabbis, to, man, Zion Lex. Salute to that brother. Check him out. Weird. My first lady, we was at that museum, and, you know, we looking at the artifacts, John, and a guy walked in and a little, I'm watching, and Frank, while I'm watching the side, because I don't know what's going to go on, I got to be ready, you know what I'm saying? So I'm watching what's going on. Yeah. And the dude is telling the people at the Black Museum, he like, look, you got part of our history, but you don't have all of it. Frank, I'm saying it right there, Frank. He said, you got part. He said, but you don't have all of it. He said, listen, I got some stuff that y'all can put in there. I have pictures, I have documents that y'all put in there. He said, y'all have part of our history, y'all don't have all of it, y'all don't go back enough. Because we are the people of the Bible. I turn around and I said, wait. He fussing with the people, man. He said, we are the people of the Bible. And so it's crazy. I'm halfway around the world.
museum in the hood, and a dude is fussing with the museum director saying, "We the people." I said, "Lord, if this ain't a sign, I don't know." So I scoot over there, hallelujah, and I kind of stopped the fussing and fighting and stuff like that. And me and him began talking. I introduced myself. I said, "Man, I'm Pastor Omar." I said, "Listen," I said, "I believe what you're saying. We are those people." Like that. He said, "No, you don't understand. You don't understand." I said, "I understand. I do understand." I said, "First lady, pull up on your phone." I said, "Listen, I've been preaching this for a long time now. Believe me, I understand where he comes from." So he begins to open his book and show me some of the documents and artifacts. He got paintings, and he's like, "I want to give this to him." I said, "Well, you have to give it to him. Sell them to me." He said, "No, I won't give it in the museum." I said, "All right, that's fine." He said, "But I do have some that I want to give you." So he gave me this document that I brought tonight. It's called the Obadiah Alliance. It's written by a big-time doctor, Dr. Dan Yohanatan Elazar D'Amato. And in this document, I'm halfway around the world here. I mean, there's nothing that say he would be there while I'm there. So he gave me this document.
Hallelujah.
And in this document, it's a brother, and this document guy is a brother who runs this Obadiah Alliance. It's a brother, but he's really highly educated.
Yes,
Masters and doctorates, amen. He got more degrees than a thermometer. He's like first lady. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, more degrees than a thermometer.
And so he begins to talk about the tribes of Africa and our link. Link to our father's land in Israel. Okay. And he begins to say this. He says, "While there is yet an exhaustive academic study, genetic study of having done on the Hebrews, the data of the majority of those who have reported their autosomal and Y chromosome DNA supports that their ancestors migrated from the Levant Basin." Now, for those who don't understand what the Levant Basin is, they say, "Because I heard the Chafalat Basin," but what is the Levant Basin? The Levant Basin is that migrated from that promised land into East Africa and then settled in West Africa. Now, this is oh God, he gave me the paper, I'm up in there, all right? Moreover, the Hebrews are organized according to clans or tribes. The elders transmit genealogies orally back to our patriarch Jacob. They got stories that go back to Jacob, all right? Indeed, many Hebrews descend from the Levitical tribes themselves. These facts attest to the ancient Israelite origin of the Hebrew people that's in West Africa. Are you hearing what I'm talking about? Are you hearing what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
The Obadiah Alliance. All right? The presence of Israelites along the Niger River. Brother Carl, we've been preaching this. Now, educationally, Carl. Rabbinic letters addressed to the Hebrews by the chief rabbis. All of the correspondence from the aforementioned rabbinic authorities address the Hebrews. They call the Hebrews brethren of the children of Israel. They saying that even them over there know that the Hebrews and the other tribes are the people of the living book. Are you hearing? The rabbis know. The rabbinical literature know. So the DNA attests, the rabbinical literature attests, the history of the Hebrew people attests to it. You know what I'm saying? I tell you what. I say, Lord, I'm going to have to go to London more often.
Shalom Aleichem. My name is Yohanatan Elazar D'Amato. I am the current chairman of the Obadiah Alliance, which was established in the year 2015 in the city of Miami, Florida. Many people have been asking, who is the Obadiah Alliance and who are these Rabbanim who are part of this big thing? The Obadiah Alliance was established in order to assist those Jews who have been marginalized and disenfranchised from contemporary Jewish communities, wherever they may be around the world. It is our mission and vision to educate and to empower those Jews who have been estranged from their ancestral faith and tradition. For that matter, the Obadiah Alliance was organized with this vision in the year 2015, namely Dayan Yaakov Yosef de Oliveira, Dayan Eliezer Tabor, Rabbi Hananiah Cohen, Rabbi Ariel Abel, Rabbi Haim Ovadia, and myself as Selim Dayan as well. You should know that Obadiah Alliance is comprised of Rabbanim, Dayanim, who are experts not only in Jewish law, but also in various disciplines of academia, such as linguistics, sciences, and anthropology. These expertise permits the Obadiah Alliance cases of monetary law, civil law, but also in cases of shitar berur, or berur yahadut, in cases of issuing Jewish certificates and also verifying and establishing the status of Jewishness of those who are seeking that. Up to this day, the Obadiah Alliance has been able to help various persons in Europe, Eretz Israel, the United States, the Caribbean, and South America, establishing Jewish identity of those who have been estranged from the local communities. As such, the Obadiah Alliance has a global vision to continue to help those who are in need of empowerment. שלום עליכם לכל החכמים שנמצאו בתור כל העולם. Blessed and with peace be all those who are found throughout the entire world. It's been about a month now that the Obadiah Alliance has issued a ruling on the Israelite identity of the Igbo people who are found throughout Igbo land and outside of Igbo land. They are numbering about 40 million in population scattered throughout the world and Nigeria. There has been much talk about whether the ruling that was made, what does it mean? Is it accepted? Is it valid? And I would like to say, in the name of Obadiah Alliance as the sitting chairman, that this ruling has all of the halachic weight as any ruling from any bet din around the world, whether it is the RCA, whether it is bet din in Canada, or bet din in South America, or even a bet din issued by the chief rabbinate of the state of Israel. We know that according to halakha, any takana or gezerah, which is established by one bet din in one place, cannot be enforced upon another community, and vice versa. We also learn in halakha that any ruling which is made by one bet din cannot be annulled or cancelled by another bet din. Only a bet din can examine the witnesses, but not undo or cancel or repeal the rulings of another bet din. If such were to be the case, then the entire legal system upon which the nation of Israel, the people of Israel, the Jewish people, exists, the whole system will fall apart. As you can see, this is exactly what we learn in Parashah Korah when his bedtime, namely the 71 elders or the 70 elders in Moshe. This bedtime is the functioning Sanhedrin, which serves as a model for every generation. After the dissolution of our last Sanhedrin in the 5th century with Rab Asher and Rab Aina, no Bedin has the authority of a Bedin Hagadol, the Sanhedrin. As such, rulings that are made with Dayanim, Chachamim, Rabbanim, who are learned, who are experts in a field, can issue rulings as long as they are Kesharim, Shomerei Mitzvot, as we learn in the Torah. As such, there should be no hashash, no suspicion that a ruling is not kasher or not of one bet din from another. We need to remove politics, put them aside, and speak halakha. This is what we have been handed down to us from our elders, from our ancestors. And upon this idea, this legal idea, our entire nation rests. I will like to wish you
Shalom.
Thank you for coming us. Mr. Namri Kanu, thank you, from Biafra. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
We will shortly tell the story of how did you happen to come here. But
I've been watching him now for years. He was just fighting the case the last time I watched him about 5-6 years ago, where he had left Nigeria and went into Israel, which is a beautiful thing. Flee one city to the next. I have to check them out in recent times, but there's some good information. Beautiful, wonderful, enlightening, gives you strength. You know, we've been denied for so long. Now you have a foundation. This is something the youth need to know, especially the elders, especially in this time. We all understand what's going on, especially with in the event of America sending certain missiles over to Ukraine, and Ukraine haven't used those missiles. And you don't think Russia's aware of it? You have to see, you can't be one-sided, where you just listen to one side of the story, you stuck there, you believe everything, you don't do no research, and that's it. Family, you have to research. Okay, in the news. This is yesterday, Punch newspaper. Check it out. They got a map of Sweden, Norway, and Finland. They say Sweden, Finland urge citizens to prepare for crises. What type of crises, family? Let's see what they're talking about. And we're going to see, are there any other stories relating to it? Sweden on Monday began fair use copyright. The name of this paper is Punch. The most weekly read newspaper. Okay. Sweden on Monday began distributing 5 million pamphlets to households nationwide, advising citizens on how to prepare for emergencies, including possibility of war. The pamphlet titled If Crisis of War Comes is an updated version of a booklet Sweden has issued 5 times since World War II. with the last distribution in 2018, marking a notable revival since the Cold War. The 32-page document, produced by the Swedish Civil Contingency Agency, addresses the current security situation and guides responding to various threats, including military conflict, natural disasters, cyber attacks, and terrorism. The booklet includes recommendations for emergency preparedness, such as keeping non perishable food in a stock and maintaining a supply of water. Water. Woo! Beans and water. The agency highlighted, and yeah, all kind of beans. I prefer my beans that I prefer. Okay. That a lot of canned goods. A lot of canned goods. And with that bean, you could just heat that up, start a fire, put it over the wood, build a little bridge where you can sit your can up there. Solar panels. You have to remember solar panels. Take note of that. You never know what may happen in response to what we're seeing. But we know of a surety things are going to happen because why? We're in the end time of the Gentiles' rule. Their time is up. And if you don't see that the most high's hand is not on the Gentile nations, and that is basically against it to a degree, then that's what you choose to do. I keep hearing them talking about people that are awakened and saying and relating that to people that you were born a man and now you're saying you feel like you're a woman. Family, that don't have nothing to do with being awakened. Being awakened has to do with spiritual. It's spiritual more so. There's a calling on your life from your creator. We know you didn't come here from Satan. Some of us might have. You came here from heaven. The Most High created you in his image and likeness. And he put something in you, particularly that only you, he sent you with it to share it with us. Only you. You know? Let me get back to this. I'm gonna talk your ears off. Get back to the regular schedule program. I gotta put this thing on charge and I gotta get a cord, my extension cord. But I'm gonna still let this play because I want this information to go out. Because why? A lot of people gonna lose hope, family. When they see something break out, which I know them people gonna do something in retaliation for what's going on. If you send a bomb in my back door, you send a fool in my back door to my neighborhood and they do something to harm my people, you know I'm sending something right back at you. So we as a people have to consider that and understand. You playing on the world scale with nations that have armed forces. You playing. Imagine if you was Putin and America did that to you. Would you send something at him? You got intercontinental ballistic missiles. Let me tell you something about this intercontinental ballistic missile, which they have every right to strike if they so choose to. Why? Because you sending your missiles, to a nation that I'm at war with, and they destroying my people. What you think I'm gonna do? Now, can they do it? Is it possible? Hell to the yeah. Russia has an intercontinental ballistic missile. Like I was saying, I was just doing some more research on that thing this evening. And that thing it would take you 30 minutes to get here. And the likelihood that it can strike is very likely, family. It's not an if and a but. It can get through. That's it. Now, back to this story. But this is an awakening. This is what the awakening is right here. Do that sound like what you hear these pastors? I heard Elon Musk talking about, and it's no disrespect to nobody. You got your free will. You can disagree or agree. That's your thing. I can care less. But I'm gonna put the truth out there because that's what I'm sent forth to do. I function according to a higher, the highest level of obedience to Yahuwah, not to man, to Yahuwah and Yahuwah alone. Hallelujah. So I heard him talking about this woke guy. Trump put him in his place or whatever. Let me tell you something, Elon Musk and President-elect Trump. Y'all don't understand what being awakened means. Now I hear you talking about. Let me use this analogy. I hear you talking about Jesus the Christ, right? I don't know to what degree you understand the language of what in which you speaking, but it's like you being in the dark, not understanding, okay, the creator has an instruction specifically for you. I hear y'all speak affirmations, and I know you couldn't have rose to the level that you are at just by money. No, you have to be operating according to a higher law. There's something greater at work than what the average person is involved in. For you to reach that level, you have used the natural law, God's law. It is the Most High who makes wealthy or who makes poor, rich or poor. So I know at some point you used the natural law. It's done went off. I haven't had it on mute too long, which is cool. Black Americans get out now. They say a whole lot of stuff, but a lot of this stuff, if you study to show yourself improved, you reading and you have
people are literally losing their minds, my
having this
friends.
convocation, you have this connection where you're connected to the Most High. You're not gonna dare leave in Hollywood. Penny said something bizarre was just revealed. Yeah, it's been a whole lot of stuff going on. A lot of people is leaving. I'm hearing about it, and it's not because of what's going on. Yeah, it's more so what's going on here. Jesus is not what you think.
Surgeon at the Mayo Clinic for 30 years.
He showed his skin color in great detail. I want to hear that. Because we've been told, everybody, when we speak about Jesus' color, people act like, oh, you did something wrong. Now back to that punch story. The agency highlighted an increased emphasis on preparation for potential military conflict in this latest edition, distributed in both Swedish and English, with digital versions available in multiple languages, including Arabic, Farsi, Ukrainian, and Somali. The security situation is serious, and we all need to strengthen our resilience to face various crises, ultimately war, said MSB Director Mikael Freisel. Dig that. We already know Swedes have to mentally prepare for war, he said, across the board. Finland has also stepped up its crisis preparedness efforts. The Finnish government launched a new website on Monday designed to centralize information on handling different types of emergencies. So right now you have European nations preparing themselves for the alleged eventual war, allegedly preparing themselves. But we know war is coming. In order for this system to decrease, it has to be imploded. I don't see us doing it unless the Most High rouse us up spiritually or send his messengers into the land, which they already here operating. You don't think the angels, the Most High angels are here? You better wake up. I don't know what book y'all reading, but the Bible is happening right now as we speak.
Say I was clinically dead for 17 minutes and 22
fair use
seconds.
copyright. I'm gonna check
There was
this
no
out. This
heartbeat
woman
and no
said
brain
Jesus
activity.
showed her color.
They tried
We
defibrillation
know he
7
got a color,
times.
just
The team later told me they were about to call it a night when my heart
Just her saying that lets me know he's a man. He's a Negro. He has color to him. He's not no ordinary face. He's not pale skin, so to say. He has hue, which means he's a Negro.
Started beating again. What I went through in those minutes would take a lifetime to fully describe. As soon as my heart stopped, I felt like I was floating above my body. I could see what was going on in the conference room. I could see my coworkers working on me, hear Dr. Sarah Williams calling for epinephrine, and see the cardiac monitor showing asystole, flatline. But then, something changed. The scene started to fade, and I found myself moving through what I can only describe as a tunnel of light. But that word doesn't do it justice. The light was alive, conscious, and loving. The change was instantaneous. One moment I was in unbearable pain, and the next I was at peace. This is where I met Jesus. But let me explain how it happened. When I came out of the tunnel, I was in what seemed like a dimension of pure light, but I could see everything clearly, and my eyes didn't hurt from the brightness. That's when I heard his voice calling my name, and everything I thought I knew about how Jesus looked was completely changed. He spoke to me, and this is where my scientific background really comes into play. His voice was unlike any I'd ever heard. It resonated not only in my ears, but in every part of my being. It wasn't particularly deep or high, but it carried perfect authority and perfect love at the same time. He spoke, and I understood everything in a way that went beyond language. Megan, you have looked for truth through science, which is good, he told me. But now you will see greater truths, he said. Then he reached out and touched my forehead, his hands. I saw the scars from the crucifixion, but they weren't gross or painful to look at. They shone with a kind of triumphant light, like honor badges. At that moment, I had what I can only describe as full knowledge. I saw the whole process of creation, not just the Big Bang, in all its glory. All the scientific discoveries I had ever learned about were connected to a bigger picture. I saw that every heart I had ever worked on was designed with divine intelligence. But then he showed me something even more amazing. He took me through what looked like a window in time and let me see scenes from his life on Earth. I saw him teach, heal, and interact with people. The level of detail was amazing. I could smell the dust in the air, feel the heat of the sun, and hear the small differences in the Aramaic and Greek dialects being spoken. What's so amazing is that I saw things that have never been written down in history. I saw him getting ready to teach early in the morning. I saw him comfort a child whose mother had died with such tenderness that it broke my heart. I saw him in private with his disciples, teaching them deeper truths about life. But what struck me the most was how he dealt with people who were suffering. I have spent my whole life trying to heal people, but his healing went so much deeper than that. When he touched someone, you could see their whole being change because of love. He even told me about his crucifixion, which was probably the most profound thing he did. He told me about it from his point of view. I know a lot about physical trauma, but what I saw was beyond anything I could have imagined. I saw how he took on not only physical pain, but also the spiritual and emotional pain of all people. But what's amazing is that even when he was in the most pain, his face showed both pain and love. His eyes never lost that amazing mix of authority and compassion. Even on the cross, his main concern was for others. Every detail matters. He showed me 7 specific moments of his life that changed the way I understand historical events. First, he showed me the crucifixion, but from his point of view. As a thoracic surgeon, I immediately recognized medical details that aren't recorded in any historical accounts. For example, I saw how the nails went through the wrists instead of the palms, cutting the meat.
Every day, businesses like yours are taking steps to reduce greenhouse gas emissions.
But what was most amazing was being a part of his consciousness during this event. His body was in unbearable pain, but his mind was focused on something much bigger. I could feel how he was absorbing not only physical pain, but also the spiritual and emotional side, having a private conversation with his mother Mary on their rooftop in Nazareth. They were speaking Aramaic, which I somehow understood perfectly. He was telling her how he was becoming more aware of how special he was, and I could feel her amazement and worry as a mother. The second time was early in his ministry, before any miracles were recorded. He met a family whose young son was dying from acute lymphoblastic leukemia. Instead of healing the boy right away, he spent 3 days with the family teaching them about the deeper meaning of suffering and divine love. When he finally healed the child, it wasn't just a physical healing. The whole family was changed. The third time was especially powerful. It was the night before he was crucified, hours before Gethsemane. He was alone on the Mount of Olives, in complete communion with what he showed me was the whole of human history. At the same time, he showed me how his upcoming sacrifice would connect with every single life. But he didn't just show me historical events. He also took me to see heaven, hell, and meet God the Father. To explain what I saw in hell, I've seen a lot of terrible physical pain. But what I saw in hell wasn't a place of active torture like some people say it is. Instead, it was a state of being completely cut off from divine love and truth. I saw souls who had built their own prisons by making decisions and holding beliefs that kept them from being in touch with God. The suffering wasn't forced, like when the body attacks itself with an autoimmune disease. There were no clouds or harps in heaven. Instead, think of the deepest moment of understanding, love, and peace you've ever felt, then multiply that by infinity. I realized that every scientific discovery I'd ever made was just a small glimpse of a bigger truth. I realized that the physical laws we study are like shadows cast by a deeper reality. For example, the math we use to explain quantum mechanics is just an approximation of something much more fundamental. Jesus led me into what I can only describe as the absolute center of reality. There was a presence that was both overwhelming and very familiar. Imagine if perfect truth and love could speak, if infinite wisdom and perfect compassion could speak. What amazed me the most was how this supreme being, the source of all existence, was focused on each soul as if it were the only one in the world. I felt that every prayer, every tear, and every celebration of happiness was always present to this consciousness. I also learned something that changed the way I think about science, that what we call physical reality, including time and space, comes from this divine consciousness in the same way that thoughts come from a mind. Many people think the most interesting part of my testimony is how I described how Jesus looked. As a surgeon, I'm trained to carefully observe and write down what I see. What I saw was nothing like traditional artistic depictions, but it was immediately clear that it was the real thing that those depictions are trying to capture. He stood in front of me, and the first thing that struck me was his height. He was about, or of average build, but his presence filled the room. His build was athletic, but not imposing, like someone who had worked as a carpenter and walked a lot during his ministry. His skin was light olive, like the skin of modern Middle Eastern people who spend time both inside and outside. It had a luminous quality, like it was lit from the inside, but it wasn't pale or white like European artists have shown. It was more like the color of sun-warmed honey, but alive and glowing. His hair was perhaps the most striking difference from how people usually see him. It wasn't the dark brown or black we see in paintings, nor was it the pale blonde that European artists have shown. You might ask, what about his face? Well, as someone who has studied human anatomy a lot, I can tell you that his features were perfectly balanced in a way that defied genetic probability. They fell in natural waves to just above his shoulders. When the light moved through them, and light was always moving through everything in this realm, you could see these amazing color changes from honey gold to deeper amber. They were perfectly groomed, but still looked like they hadn't been cut by human hands. His forehead was full and proportionate, with expressive eyebrows that weren't too thick or thin. His nose was straight and well formed, neither too big nor too small, fitting his face perfectly. But his eyes were the most amazing thing about him. In all the years I've been a doctor, I've never seen eyes that looked like that. They were this amazing color that seemed to change between a warm brown.
I swear I didn't like it.
I like that. I'll be checking that out. Y'all should.
Say about
Black parents be born. Yes, Elon Musk. Helps you stop buying after you know what they're made of.
the experts that compiled this list of foods they say we should never eat.
We already know. I always said we need to start planning.
Always wants.
Okay, what are you talking about?
Welcome to another video. It's Nigeria here. Thanks for coming. Always for the subscribers, thank you so much for your time.
Fair use copyright, fair use copyright. I'll be checking the brothers and sisters out now. I got us on content and I'm like, okay, that's cool. But I always wondered what it would be like for us and them to get on the same page. And they have to the table. Little do they know it, they got a lot to offer. They got first-hand knowledge of the ancients, which connects us to the biblical story, the roots of the children of the Hebrew Israelites. I'll be like, wow, just look at your language. Look at the Paleo-Hebrew and look at your modern-day language, and you will see similarities. I see them. I'm in America. I don't know Hebrew. I have a Hebrew book, and it has a dictionary that explains every word. And when I'm listening to the African brothers and sisters, now many know, but I'd be like, wow, if we just cut out everybody else, come together, which is gonna happen. It will happen. Ezekiel 37, 2 sticks. Judah and Israel. Judah is in Africa. He was taken out of Africa. And many of us scattered into the nations are Judah and Israel. That's a fact. And it's coming to the light, and it's coming so fast, it's been there. Now it's on a world scale. We got laws. You go figure. It's deep, family. And that's what I was playing. I had been watching the rabbis from Africa, chief rabbis. I seen them on, you can go to Zion Lex. Check out Zion Lex. Rabbi Zion Lex. And you can learn and more. And he's always, the rabbis are always over there with him. They love him. And you will grow to love him too, because he's a good brother. A good brother. Well knowledgeable. You can learn a lot. And with that, let's see what Sis talking about. Let's see what they talking about.
I always appreciate it.
What the
This is
Arab
something
man
I
talking
like,
about?
because I feel like these are things African people have to know, or people need to know. And in the times where an African platform or an African channel can be taken down and there's not like a lot of noise, it makes you understand, where the threat is. Like, it's not about talking about racism, the threat is not talking about, oh, they are discriminating us. the threat is always going to go to what Africa is doing to change itself. And I'm starting to realize that, like, the more we talk about racism, it's so much used in the ears of these people. Like, it doesn't even really make sense anymore. Like, they're so used to it, it doesn't move them in any way. I mean, even if they do something, they are so easy to come and just apologize about it. But when it comes to like Africa uniting and
I just
Passion,
said
we've got
that
determination. And if we set our sights on something,
we have to come together now.
that's where the energy is going to go from them,
Now.
but not talking about how they discriminate or how they are
Exactly.
racist to us. Like that
Now.
doesn't move them. It really doesn't. Yeah, guys, watch this clip, come back, and I'll say a few things about it.
Which is the colonial legacy. And of course, a lot of people say, well, come on, colonialism is over. It's been, several decades since independence. But we have the unfinished business of decolonizing economic structures. So I focus on the economic structures that actually produce the results that we're looking at. So when it comes to the colonial role that was imposed on the African continent, it can be summarized in three basic points. Number one, we're supposed to be the place for cheap raw materials for the industrialized world. We still play that role today. Number two, we were supposed to be the place that consumes technology and industrial output from the global north. The industrialized world is outsourced to us under the label of development, cooperation, job creation, technical assistance, all of that. But effectively, what it does is that it permanently locks us at the bottom of the global value chain. That was the role we played during colonial times, and unfortunately, that is the role we continue to play today. So colonialism, of course, was not a system for development. It was not designed to achieve sustainable development goals or a just transition or justice or anything. Colonialism was a system of extraction, of abuse. We should not be surprised that the same colonial structures, economic colonial structures that persist today are producing these bad results of malnutrition, of poverty, of socioeconomic exclusion. So that's why in the context of the just transition, in the context of decarbonization, we always say we cannot decarbonize a system that hasn't been structurally and economically decolonized yet. And when it comes to kind of the visible manifestation of these problems, the issue of external debt, that is debt denominated in foreign currencies, in dollars and in euros. It is a serious problem because it takes a huge amount of fiscal policy space that doesn't allow our governments to invest in the building blocks of development and prosperity, such as basic health and education and infrastructure, because we have to prioritize paying the external debt. But external debt is actually a symptom of deeper structural issues that have colonial roots. Number one, food deficits. Number two, energy deficits. And number three, manufacturing deficits. And
First of all, I'm trying to figure out what type of agreement does Europe and America have in business that Africa or these lands that like Saudi Arabia and those areas, Iraq, Iran, those areas. Why don't specifically Africa? I understand what the colonialists are doing or have done, but at some point, once you come to knowledge of self and trust me, that's what will push you on that journey to learn. Okay, why do these things happen to us? Why don't no other nation stand with us when it's time to defend ourselves against colonization? On all levels, in education, economics, social development, recreation, social or recreation, any aspect of life is got to be governed or ruled by the colonialists, or even to us, we'd be like I hear this gentleman, and I hear other brothers and sisters, but I don't see nobody making a move like Africa to come together with its people that's dispersed. It's too busy trying to meet the expectations of those colonialist powers and fit into their system when we are the system. You know what I'm saying? They just managing our they just managing our ass so cold under these paperwork when all you gotta do is break out. We can stop those relationships, connect with one another for the sake of survival. It ain't got nothing to do with hate or prejudice or none of that shit. If you don't stand, learn to stand and be protectors and providers yourself, you're gonna be a slave. That's just law. I don't care what you say, what these women talking about, all this, oh, you shouldn't rebel. We have to go with the lesser evil. No, the hell we don't. That ain't what the Most High said. That's what these people showing you and teaching. That's why he said, come out from among them. And that's why I always purport men and women, y'all need to support one another, especially black people. Y'all need to stop this shit. I got it. You ain't got shit. In 1 minute, you ain't finna have nothing when they start releasing these bombs. Why y'all got all this and why all them that's up there faking to make it, like and faking and perpetrating like they got it all. You ain't got shit. I don't care how many videos they on, how many cars they got. That shit don't mean nothing. That shit gonna get wiped out in the war. Y'all don't see what this president that's in office did. Y'all ain't paying the fuck attention. So eventually something gonna happen. Know that. That's the truth. People trying to spin it. Now the awakening is you coming to life. You seeing things for what they really are. Letting go of things that are unnecessary, that doesn't work, and taking hold of those things which your creator has established. He established it by his word, and it is so. And the scriptures can't be broken. Don't tell me no doctrines of men and all this other bullcrap that never worked. I don't want to hear this shit. All this fake anger about not voting for Democrats. Stop playing with me, man. That means there's a separation. I'm not gonna go off on them. I pray for them, but you push their ass over there with the goats. That's who they ride with. So stop being mad. We don't care what they think. Let they crybaby ass go. Keep your eyes on Ukraine and Russia. And for Africans and the Hebrew Israelites that are awakening, stop playing these games, gathering people like you the Almighty. You gonna part the seas like you did during the time when you brought our ancestors out of Egypt. Don't no man on this earth have that power yet. The 144 are gonna be imbued with a power. It's gonna shake this earth so bad. They gonna shake, rattle, what? Anything get in the way of that law, that word going forth out of Jacob. Let me tell you something. You could play these, who Israel, who this or who that. I keep telling y'all it ain't just Israel. You have Jacob and you have Israel. Jacob is from the line of Shem. Shem are those chosen people. These are the servants of the kingdom of heaven. It don't got nothing to do with earthly religion, Christianity, Islam, Mormonism, Hinduism, none of that. Stop bringing the Most High's ways are higher. You have to awaken. All this is really foolishness because you already know who the enemy is. Anything that seeks to raise his head up against the knowledge of truth, because it's only truth of Yahuwah's word, which is Yahushua, that came in the flesh and walked with you to show you the way. And they recorded it. Stop questioning it. It's not to be debated. Either you to come to him, you have to believe. Stop playing. Get it in order. It's time. Any day now, you can wake up, family. Ain't no telling what you might come to going out them doors. Well, before you go to sleep, it's real. Ain't no spookism. Ain't no conspiracy theory. I was explaining to my brother earlier. I'm like, bro, I don't see this man taking office and not thinking I did hear them talking about these missiles, and people ain't looking at it serious. I'm seeing the news channels, the news stations. I'm over in Russia paying attention to their news. I'm not listening to these people walking around eyes wide shut with their doctrines and philosophies of men. Common sense tell your ass. I don't want to hear. Oh, they don't know nothing. They don't listen to scientists, and then scientists don't know shit. They studying what God has already produced. So don't tell me no shit about no man when you can sit your ass down and read the science for yourself. You don't need no another man or woman to teach you nothing. If you pay your ass attention, you could discern. If you walking down the street, you see a dog loose, automatically your spirit is telling you, "Oh, don't play when you walking. You may have to cross the street just to protect yourself in case you have to jump on a car. If you can't talk to this dog and show that you more dominant, you got to get low. So you want to be in position yourself where, okay, if this thing don't listen to me, or if I have to grab it, I don't feel confident enough where I think I may slip or something. Hell no, I gotta have an exit plan. And don't think too lightly of them dogs, cause majority of my brother dog, that dog can jump as high as to my face. I'm like, this big head ass damn dog, that dog ain't no joke. And he a beast. He got a big head, they a mastiff. He got mastiff in him. Them heads get bigger than humans. I watch him with the burbles. He's not a burble, but he got a mastiff. He's mixed with mastiff. And that dude can jump up on your shoulders. Real talk. That dog get up. And I'm like, he ain't no pit bull. He ain't no German Shepherd. But he get his ass up there. He be jumping around. I'm like, whoa. I need one of them dogs. I need that. That's a canary. I need that boy. What? Jump up on his head, dude. But yeah, it's time to awaken the glory. Show forth the praise of him that sent you here. And stand up as a son and represent. That's how you overcome. That's how you overcome the world. Better, man, it's time. You finna be tried. It's just like in times of Babylon, Daniel and them Shadrach, Meshach, and that bad Negro, Abednego, you gonna be tried for what you believe in. They gonna tell you can't worship. I already telling you can't worship. Yeah, America just started World War III. I'm telling you, it's nothing to scare. But they say breaking news: Denzel confronts Oprah. I'm warning you.
Say about this whole Toronto, I heard I was trending yesterday because people were saying that I was not. And if I can't fight for them coming up behind me, then what am I doing? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, don't apologize. Don't apologize.
Recently, a big controversy hit the news about Oprah Winfrey's alleged mistreatment of black actresses.
Yeah, okay, she'll be alright. We ain't worried about that. It's a much pressing things going on.
Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. Today, Tuesday, November 19th, 2024. Back with another episode.
Remember,
and I thank y'all once again for tuning in. If you can't tell by my tone, which I'm not trying to sound like this, it's just how I feel.
It's serious.
You just tuned in for some doom and gloom. So I would suggest you don't leave now. If you don't want to hear what I'm about to tell you. I remember a couple of years ago, each day that I would achieve something or had something in mind that I wanted to achieve, I felt optimistic. I felt hopeful. I had another dream that I was trying to accomplish. I gave myself something else to look forward to. Before I had my own truck, I used to dream about having my own truck. I would look forward Even though I didn't have it, didn't know how I was gonna get it, didn't have the money or the credit at the time, I still had a dream. And I felt like I was gonna accomplish that dream. I felt optimistic, even though nothing at the time said that I was gonna have my own truck, except the fact that I believed it up here.
Amen.
Because I was in a world, I was in a country to where anything was possible for anybody that was willing to put forth the work to make it happen. Anything possible.
Yeah.
And I was willing to put forth the work. Fast forward, lo and behold, I ended up with my own truck. Just like I believed I would.
Amen.
Just like I felt optimistic about.
Amen.
Just like I felt hopeful about, it came to pass.
Amen.
But I was in an environment where it was okay to hope. It was okay to be optimistic.
That matters.
Because there was nothing going on at the time to say otherwise. But that has changed dramatically. Drastically has changed.
Talk about it.
Now, there's still some things I want to accomplish. Some dreams that I have, some hopes, some aspirations.
Wow.
As of right now, even though I got these big dreams, I'm on the verge, probably this Friday, next Friday, going to buy another truck. Everything already worked out. Even with the other truck in my hand, I'm still not feeling hopeful and optimistic about these dreams that I have.
King.
My plans coming to fruition. We're no longer in an environment, in an atmosphere where it's okay to still hope and have ambitions and dreams. To be optimistic. Now, big boy, you're supposed to be optimistic. You're supposed to be hopeful. You're supposed to keep up.
I don't know.
Yeah, you do. But someone else outside of you have put some things in the mix, put some things in motion outside of your control that's going to interfere with your hopes and dreams and your aspirations.
Teach.
Some people outside of you, without your permission, without even checking with you first,
Teach.
are doing some things right now to where all your hopes and dreams don't mean nothing to them. What you had planned, what you want to do for the future, for you and your children. It means nothing to them. They got something else in mind. Complete and utter control.
Crap.
So much so, they're willing to do anything to obtain it. Some people want to run the world, want to rule the world, want to own the world like God. Even though God owns it, you got some people they want to own it.
Yeah.
It belongs to them, not God.
We don't see.
So therefore, it leaves people like me and you that once upon a time were able to dream and have hopes and ambitions, and we put it in the work, we can achieve those dreams.
Right, you got started, kid. They on bullshit.
Why not, big boy? Still want to work hard?
I'm gonna work.
Because
they in the way, though. I just tell my girl this.
You won't have a world left.
No, these niggas
Pretty
playing
soon.
games. Sending
If the
bombs.
plans come to fruition,
Niggas going crazy.
you won't have a world to live out your dreams in.
Hell no.
Joe Biden
Talk about
authorized Ukraine to use our supplied long-range missiles to shoot into Russia. And Ukraine just did.
They did. Bro.
Ukraine on its own don't stand a chance.
Don't stand a chance.
So for them to be able to still be battling with Russia knows
they ain't stupid.
They got outside interference in their family business.
That's an act of war.
Someone, you having a family dispute, some outsiders have butted in to your family business. How you feel about that?
Shit, I just asked that same question, King.
You wouldn't like that one.
Not in the hour ago. I just
But
said.
Russia don't like it either.
Hell no, they don't. I'm looking at the moves they making. And I hope y'all know vote for her. We'll be at war.
And someone supplies the person that your brother having a conflict with weapons to destroy your brother that they didn't have.
Exactly. I asked that same
someone
question,
that ain't got nothing to do with your brother and this person's conflict, they butt in.
I said that same thing. If you was Russia and they did that to you, let your neighbor backdoor you, your own brother gave them some heat to get at you. You gonna let that slide? Hell to the no. You know it's on. Y'all better quit playing, quit listening to these dumbass talking heads that don't know what they talk about and pay attention yourself. It matters, man.
And help somebody harm your brother.
Exactly.
How would you feel about that?
We going to war.
That's what we doing as Americans.
Exactly.
Joe Biden,
your Democratic
the Manchurian president. Did y'all see the movie Manchurian Candidate?
The Manchurian.
Well, the president would be in control.
Bring it out.
There's no way Joe Biden thinks it's a good idea for the
Ukrainians.
Rest of the world.
No.
For world peace.
No, you don't see.
To interfere with what Russia and Ukraine got going on. Two neighbors, all of them fighting amongst each other. How does Joe Biden think it's a good idea for the rest of the world to get in there?
That's what I'm trying to.
When it can be secluded right there in that little area, let them have that. But no, we gotta get in it for whatever reason.
For what?
That don't make no sense. Ukraine is not important to the well-being of the rest of the world. It's not.
Bring it out. Teach.
The good way.
Exactly.
Our national interest or whatever you call it.
Exactly. Yeah, it's wicked.
Russia overtaking Ukraine don't affect us at all.
Hell no. Come out of grain.
You know
that
why?
shit here.
Did y'all not know Ukraine was once part of Russia?
Yeah, it was.
What it was called the USSR, the Union of Soviet Socialist Republic.
That's right.
At one time, Russia was a superpower, which they trying to get back to now. They still ain't far from it. They still got nukes and all that stuff, right? But we overtook them as the world's only superpower, other than like China trying to get there. But we're the only superpower. At least we was, but we're not anymore, but we want to admit it. We weak as hell right now. Because of wokeness. I talked about that yesterday.
That's bullshit.
So Russia
Your ass ain't woke, bro.
taking Ukraine back is not going to affect the world no more than it did when Ukraine was already a part of Russia. How did it affect us then? It did. The world did not come to an end when Ukraine was officially a part of Russia at one time. The USSR, they crumbled. I'm giving y'all a history lesson. They failed. So just imagine the United States. We fall apart, say like the Civil War. We fall apart. And you have states like, say, California decide, hey, we don't want to be part of the United States no more. After we done failed, we went through the financial bankruptcy, what have you. So we're not as strong as we was, so we're not United States no more. We're still the United States, but instead of 50 states, we only have 47. We ain't got 50 no more. 3 of them broke away. But they're still on our land. Just say, for instance, California break away from the United States for whatever reason.
Texas.
California didn't get up and move itself. It's still sitting right there at the border of the United States. It's just not a part of the United States no more. Okay, follow. This is the beef between Russia and Ukraine. Ukraine still, even though they're not a part of Russia no more, they still, the landmass is still where it always part of Russia. Ukraine decided they want to be a part of NATO. Russia said you can't be a part of NATO. Because if you be a part of NATO, that's going to put our national security in jeopardy. Because if you become a part of NATO, that would allow the United States and other NATO countries to move their missiles into your country, which would be on our borders. If Ukraine joined NATO, the United States would be able to put their missiles on Russia's border. They're not going for that. We wouldn't go for it. Would we go for it if California wasn't part of the United States no more? And they decided they want to join NATO or some other, they want to join Russia and China. They want to align with China and Russia and North Korea. California broke away from the United States, but they still where they are. But they decided they want to join forces with Russia. We tell California you can't do that. Because if you do, that's going to allow Russia to put that missile on our border. Russia will have their missile in California. It won't be in the United States because the United States California not part of the United States anymore. They're their own sovereign nation, California, which was not part of the United States. So the United States tell California, if you allow Russia, if you join Russia, in any kind of way, even if you act like you want to join, we're going to invade you. And California decided to do it anyway. Thought we were just bluffing, and we invaded California. The United States invaded what used to be a part of it, California. Because California broke loose from us and decided they were going to join forces with our enemies and allow our enemies to put their weapons right on our border. We wasn't going to go for that with California. Russia ain't going for it with Ukraine. That's what Ukraine tried to do. Ukraine and Russia have been separated for years. Russia didn't invade them. Why did they invade them now? I'll tell you why. They warned Ukraine, if you do this, we're going to do this. And Ukraine did it anyway. And us, egging them on. Instigate, don't do it. We got your back. Don't worry about Russia. Don't do it. Talk them into doing it because we had ulterior motives with the rest of the world. The end, the letters we talk about the end, you can't say on here. We use Ukraine as a puppet. They didn't even know they were being used. We tricked them in the buck in Russia, and they got invaded, which gives us permission now to help our allies. We fighting for Ukraine. We trying to save Ukraine. For what?
That's what I want to know.
What's so important about Ukraine now? Since when has Ukraine been important to the grand scheme of things? Never. Except they're part of another diabolical plan that if you don't look deep into it, you won't even see it. You're missing it right there in front of your eyes. You stuck on some liberal crap.
Tell me.
Trump's a racist type stuff. Y'all didn't vote for Kamala because you misogynist and you don't want a woman You stuck on that. You overlooking the grand scheme of things. Karma, it wasn't about her. It was about her party, her platform, or her agenda, who she's a part of. The people behind the scenes who behind her is what we voted against. Y'all couldn't see past her. That's why they put her out there for y'all. You couldn't see past what she was hiding from y'all. When y'all try to look around her, she a black and we can't see what the gender really was.
Oh, they showing your ass.
World domination.
Wow. Roland Martin and everybody talking about what's gonna happen since we didn't vote for her. You paying attention what the fuck they doing?
People like me knew this. That's one of the reasons I want Trump in office. He's against that. I want to be able to hope and dream again for my future, not be worried about being conquered or war.
Exactly.
They're not national. They're not America first. They're globalists. Trump is a nationalist. And the only one, maybe other than 2 or 3 other people in our entire government that's America first. They're not with the world agenda, trying to make the world one.
Exactly.
Russia is fighting against that.
Exactly.
They're not fighting against us, the American people. They're fighting against our government that's not doing what the American people want them to do.
Show the fuck out.
Russia don't have a problem with us, the American people. But what we'll end up being is collateral damage.
Damn right.
Because the people we put in power to represent us are not actually doing what we put in power to do. They got their own thing to do. They're worried about what we want. We don't want no, whether you're a Democrat or Republican, as an American citizen, you don't want no WW3. You don't want that.
Hell no.
I don't care how much you love Trump. You don't want no world war. I know you don't. And that's what people like me trying to tell y'all. This is what it's really all about. It ain't about the first black woman. It ain't about none of that, y'all. It's deeper than that. You got to think and look out there amongst the horizon to see what this thing is really about. We're being played. Not looking forward like I once did.
That's sad.
I can get it. I'm gonna get the truck anyway just because, and I'm not even happy about it. I decided to buy me a new truck, y'all. I'm not even happy about it. You can say congratulations, thank you, but I'm not even 6 months from now. I will be burnt orange. This is not for the sake of just making a video.
Hell no.
For views. This is really going on.
Exactly.
Ukraine really just shot. Y'all probably paying no attention.
Well, I just made a video about it and put it right into you. It's two
Who you
witnesses.
think Russia gonna blame?
America.
For giving Ukraine something they didn't have. The ones who gave it to them, us. Well, not us, our government. We wasn't down with that. We didn't okay that. They did it anyway.
Hell yeah.
Anybody with common sense, no, that's a bad move.
Exactly.
Joe Biden did it anyway. Well, the shadow that looks like Joe Biden, but we don't know what's in here. Using the control of the joystick. I sound crazy, I know. But I won't sound crazy much longer.
Hell no.
Gift, like really big this season. Actual size, actual price, actually. The countdown to Black Friday is on at Aaron's.
Well, you ain't crazy at all. People have lost their damn mind. They about to get a wake-up call. Real.
Now, knowing this reality, feel free to still have hopes and dreams. I'm not going to, because it's not a good feeling to not have hopes and dreams.
All right, family. Get out of here now. I hope y'all take heed, do your research, and check this information for yourself because it's really happening. Shalom, peace, and blessings.